It's time for the postseason as the Indians will be hosting the Detroit Tigers in Game 1 of the ALDS as the Detroit Tigers won this year's wild card game and will be taking on the Indians who had the best record in the American League as well as the entire MLB this season. They will be taking the field here as we will be looking at the Tigers batting order here in a second after we show the pitching matchup, I believe, right here. Anibal Sanchez and Corey Kluber will be dueling in this. Kluber with only 4 years of MLB experience and Sanchez with 9, so he definitely has the edge in that department. Sanchez, former Florida Marlin. Here's Brad Ausmus's batting order. Anthony Gose, Jose Iglesias, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, Yoenis Cespedes, JD Martinez, Ian Kinsler, Nick Castellanos, and Alex Avila. They will be going up against the right-hander 2014 Cy Young winner Corey Kluber, who had an excellent season to follow up his Cy Young winning season, 14-8 with a 2.92 ERA and 207 strikeouts. So he is continuing his late-blooming MLB career. First batter of the game, Anthony Gose. Top of the first, no outs. He will go down swinging, and Yan Gomes will throw it to first base for the first out of the postseason. Let's get underway. The next batter would be up to the plate. Jose Iglesias 0-2 count, and he will go down swinging on that pitch out of the zone, and Kluber has struck out the first 2 batters of his postseason career. I don't believe he pitched in the wild card game. Salazar did, so that would hold true. Anyway, we get through the top of the first. Tito and his lineup will follow Ben Revere, Jason Kipnis, Michael Brantley, David Murphy, Brandon Moss, Carlos Santana, Mike Aviles, Yan Gomes, and Francisco Lindor. Quite a different lineup than when the Indians made the postseason 2 years ago. Anibal Sanchez has almost identical stats, 14-8, 2.97 ERA, and 197 strikeouts on this season. A solid season from the veteran right-hander who is one of the more underrated pitchers in the American League at this point. A battle of underrated pitchers, if nothing else. Ben Revere is going to ground this one to Jose Iglesias, but the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera, drops it, not known for his defense. So he's prone to make a few mistakes here and there, and that's one of them. Next batter is Jason Kipnis, who comes up with a 3-2 count. Revere is going, and he will reach second before Jason Kipnis grounds out. So there will be 1 out now after that ground out. The next batter would pop up, and now David Murphy is going to strike out looking right there, but we got Anibal Sanchez to throw 20 pitches in the first inning. Bottom of the second, it's Carlos Santana with 1 out, and he is going to draw a 6-pitch walk, and so there's a runner on first for Mike Aviles, one of our only right-handed bats, and he is going to fly this one out deep into center field, and that is going to be fielded by Anthony Gose, former Toronto Blue Jay, and he throws it all the way back to the pitcher. No risk of stealing a base right there, and then Yan Gomes would swing at that slider out of the zone, so no runs there. Top of the third, Corey Kluber is going to allow a double right there, and so they're going to have a runner on base, but with 2 outs for Alex Avila, and Anthony Gose is going to strike out again on a sinker this time, and so we get out of that inning. Ben Revere, 1 out in the bottom of the third. He's going to hit that right back to Sanchez. Bad luck on Revere's part. Could have been a sharp line drive for a single, but instead nothing. Jason Kipnis going to draw a walk right here on the check swing, and so runner on first, 2 outs I believe for the next batter, who would be Michael Brantley. He is going to have a 3-2 count, and we're driving the pitch count up at least. Michael Brantley is going to pop up once again in the infield, and so Michael Brantley comes up in an RBI spot and fails to deliver once again, not like his usual self. 1-1 count here, top of the fourth, and they are going to get a single here. Long single, but it's still only going to be a single, as it's not a very speedy runner who is on base right now. It's Miguel Cabrera. And Victor Martinez here is going to ground into this double play. So nothing doing there, despite getting one of the best hitters in the MLB, if not the best hitter in the MLB, on base. They do nothing with that at bat. 2-2 count, and Kluber's being Kluber. He's going to strike out Yoenis Cespedes, and then the next batter is going to come up to the plate. It is going to be J.D. Martinez. And Martinez with a 3-2 count is going to do much of the same. Swings right through that right there. So Kluber being Kluber gets a couple strikeouts in the fifth. Ian Kinsler would give him a little bit of trouble right here as he hits that one out there. And David Murphy continues to play a very poor right field. So that is going to be a double for Ian Kinsler. The next batter after him would be Nick Castellanos, who, it's Nick Castellanos, we're not going to lie here. He's just going to do something that isn't productive at all. So, yep, grounds out, goes back to first, Santana. Yan Gomes, bottom of the fifth, 0-0. He's going to hit that one down the left field line, and it's fielded by Cespedes, and he throws it in. Not that Gomes is going to go for second anyway. Francisco Lindor with a 1-2 count is going to be hit on the inside ankle on his left foot. Ben Revere now with a 3-2 count. He is going to hit that one, and it cannot be fielded by Cabrera. We were going to send Gomes home, but we did not want to risk it given how slow of a runner he is. Jason Kipnis, next batter, is going to single this one into left field, and that is going to score one, excuse me. So the Indians finally get something going here in the bottom of the fifth. Michael Brantley, 3-1 count, and that's going to knock Sanchez out of the game. A 2-run single. And Sanchez has thrown 80 pitches, couldn't get it out in the fifth. And Brad Ausmus is going to call for the left-hander to come out of the bullpen. Tom Gorzolani comes up, and he has to get rid of 2 base runners with no outs in the top of the fifth inning. A big threat against the Detroit Tigers. 1-1 for Murphy, and he is going to help out Gorzolani's cause as he grounds into a double play, but they cannot flip it to first. So there's going to be runners on the corners for Brandon Moss, and he is a few feet away from a home run. Cespedes catches it at the wall, reaches up. It should have been a run. I don't know why the runner didn't go home. That is really strange to me. But Carlos Santana would be up, and he would go right back down. Another near home run. Cespedes right up at the wall, reaches up. It's just a few feet away from the last flyout. Here we go, top of the sixth, and Alex Avila is going to get on base with this double right here. And going to throw that one in. Not in time, and it's only to the cutoff man anyway. So, runner on second for Jose Iglesias. And Avila should have had this pop-up. I don't know what the hell he was doing, and then he couldn't recover. Carlos Santana wasn't covering first because he thought, Avila's wouldn't do that. So, we do get Miguel Cabrera to sit down. However, 1 strike away from ending the inning. Victor Martinez will take this one into right field. And just as soon as the Indians would take the lead, they would lose it again. It's a tie game, 3-3. Kluber would get the final out of the inning, and he would not go past this point after this inning. We'll see the finish of rounding the bases. But Kluber would be able to finish the inning without allowing any further damage, which is a good sign when your pitcher just gives up a home run, especially a demoralizing one like that. Anyway, Yan Gomes in. He crushes lefties. Tom Gorzolani's a lefty. And this one barely gets out, but it does get out nonetheless. Up to the little patio in left field. And that is going to be a solo shot for Yan Gomes. Could have used one of those last inning where it would have been worth more runs. But I'm not going to complain about any opportunity for our team to take the lead. 4-3, we will be up now. And so, Yan Gomes is doing what he can to help his team come back in this game after slow start and then giving up the tie. Kluber would stay in for the first batter of the seventh, who would reach. It's Nick Castellanos again. He makes up for me calling him a bad player, and is going to get Kluber pulled out of the game. We're going to call for the left-hander from the bullpen. Mark Repchinski had 7 wins on the season in ERA, under 4. We decided to call on him because Alex Avila was up, and he would get Alex Avila to strike out looking. However, it was downhill from there, as you'll see in a second. 2-1 count. We're going to allow a run-scoring triple by Anthony Gose right there, as Ben Revere cannot field properly, and Michael Brantley does not have a strong enough arm to get Gose at third. And the relay throw was obviously well late to get him out at third. So that's going to be a tie game. And then Jose Iglesias is going to use some situational hitting to get a sacrifice fly to center field, and that will score Gose. Obviously, there's not really a whole lot of contest. It's Ben Revere's arm versus Anthony Gose's speed. Not a whole lot of debate there. But Miguel Cabrera would ground out to end the inning. Santana played a very smart first base right there. Ian Kroll would come on to pitch in the 7th inning. I guess I left out the 6th inning recap. I apologize for that. Jason Kipnis with a 3-2 count. He is going to deliver against a lefty, not something you see very often from him this season, as he only batted .234 against left-handed pitching this season. Michael Brantley now is going to get a double to make things even better, as it's almost the same exact play that just happened when Anthony Gose had a triple, as the center fielder struggles to field it in an ideal sense. David Murphy, though, is going to find a way to mess it up, as he pops up and somehow they get Kipnis at third. I don't understand. I thought his arm was on the bag, but really not good right there. Brandon Moss will draw a walk on that curveball, not tricking him, even though he's a power hitter, and usually curveballs will tend to trick power hitters a little more than, your typical contact guy. But Joaquim Soria comes in, and he gets Carlos Santana to fly out to the center fielder, Anthony Gose. And so that's it. To close out the game in the bottom of the 9th would be Joe Nathan, 40-year-old closer, been in the MLB for a while, likely headed to the Hall of Fame. Closed for the Twins for several years before joining the Rangers, and then the Tigers eventually. 1 out, and Jason Kipnis will have liftoff. Not quite a home run, but it is going to be a gapper. It's going to get over the wall, and it actually saved Detroit's defense, because it was going to be a triple if he had the chance. Daniel Navo to come on to pinch hit for David Murphy, and he is going to draw a walk. Brandon Moss, 3-2 count. He is going to draw a walk, and that's going to bring up Carlos Santana, 3-2 count, and he is going to draw a walk. Joe Nathan threw 50 pitches in this inning, and he walked in a run. The game is tied. Former Yankee Jabba Chamberlain came in, and rookie third baseman Giovanni Urshela would come off the bench to pinch hit, and let's see what he does. A walk-off single for the rookie infielder, who was a mid-season promotion to replace Lonnie Chisenhall and Jose Ramirez, who were struggling. And that is going to do it. The Indians take Game 1 with a walk-off over their division rival, the Detroit Tigers. A very, very close and interesting game throughout. That's going to do it for this episode of Cleveland Indians Baseball. The next episode will be whatever elimination game of the series there is. This was just Game 1, as you saw in the early presentation. Whatever elimination game there is for this series will be the next episode. That's going to do it for me. I will see you guys there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned for more Indians Baseball on the show.